This story was sent to me by a girl. A year ago, I got married. My husband treated me like a queen. His family seemed respectable and well off. Everything looked perfect. Right before the wedding, his mom, who everyone described as a saint, gave us a huge gift. She handed us the keys to an old 3-bedroom apartment in the city center and said, "Kids, the apartment is technically mine, but you can live there as long as you want. It's your nest. Just renovate it the way you like." I was over the moon. A 3-bedroom apartment, no mortgage, in the center of the city. I also had my own 1-bedroom apartment that my grandmother left me before she passed away. My husband and I talked and decided it made sense to sell my place and use the money to renovate his mom's apartment. We sold it for about $25 million. That money went straight into the renovation. We knocked down walls, redid the electrical wiring, installed a fancy Italian kitchen, bought new appliances, furniture, everything. I put every single penny into that place. I thought I was building a home for our future children. I personally chose every tile, every cabinet, every detail. My husband just smiled and nodded. We seemed happy. The renovation finished about a month ago. The apartment looked incredible, like something out of an interior design magazine. And then, a week ago, my husband came home. Sat on the couch, the same couch I spent 3 days searching for, and calmly said, "I think we should separate. I realized I don't love you. I'm seeing someone else." I started crying, completely shocked, and he just sat there calmly and said, "Please pack your things and move out by the weekend." I lost it. I said, "Move out." I invested $25 million of my own money into this place. Half of this renovation is mine. I'll take you to court. That's when he pulled out a folder with documents. Every single contract, construction work, materials, furniture. The kitchen was officially registered under his mother's name. Whenever I paid for something, he would ask me to send him the money or give cash to the workers. He said it was easier if the paperwork stayed under his mom, since the apartment belonged to her. I never questioned it. I trusted him. Today, I spoke with a lawyer. He told me bluntly, "You voluntarily invested money into someone else's property. You have no receipts, no contracts under your name. Legally speaking, you have no claim. In other words, I have nothing. No husband, no money, no apartment my grandmother left me. And right now, they're probably sitting in my dream kitchen, drinking tea and laughing." Ladies, please remember this. Never sell your own property for someone else's house. Never. What belongs to you should stay yours. And I used to think stories like this were exaggerated until the exact same thing happened to one of my friends. Her parents bought her a small apartment in the city center. She started dating a guy, things got serious, and his family offered them a huge, beautiful apartment they owned. He suggested selling her apartment to fund the renovation. She refused. Not long after that, they broke up. Honestly, she probably saved herself. I've heard so many stories like this. One woman I know had 3 kids. Her husband cheated and they divorced. During the court process, he suddenly came back saying he loved her and wanted to fix everything. Turns out he only did it to delay the legal deadlines and keep the apartment. At the last moment, he went back to his mistress. Another woman helped her new husband financially, even took a loan to help him deal with property issues with his ex-wife. A year later, he kicked her out of his house in the middle of winter because his new girlfriend demanded it. Now she rents a small apartment and has nothing left. The worst story I saw online was about a girl whose own father did something similar. He let her family move into his apartment and promised they could live there and take care of him in old age. They renovated the whole place themselves. A year later, he told them to move out because he wanted to live there again. They moved out. But before leaving, they destroyed every bit of renovation they had done. Stories like this make me realize how lucky I was in one way. When I was younger and didn't have enough life experience, at least I had my mother's advice. I once had a perfect boyfriend who was clearly interested in the money from selling my apartment for his shady business idea. At the time, the money wasn't fully accessible to me. Back then I thought I was unlucky. Now I realize something else. Another woman lost 80 million because of someone like that. So sometimes the worst men leaving your life is actually the best thing that could happen.